Hey, what is up, guys? It is Slick here back again with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about my college experience, what I feel about college, and now that I'm a senior, would I do it again? Is it a good idea to go to college? All those types of things, and just my general college experience, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and etc. So, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, especially because I don't do IRL videos and like personal topics very often. So if you enjoyed them, definitely let me know, and leave a like down below. So anyway, let's talk about my college experience as a whole. So like I said, I'm a senior at the University of North Carolina. I'm a political science and history double major. So I am in a field that's very, very contentious, where it's very driven by your grades and what graduate school you're going to, law school, medical school, rarely, but mostly law school or graduate program. So anyway, I'll talk about that later. So let me first talk about my journey and how I almost didn't go to college. So first of all, it's important to note that from a young age, I was always sort of predestined to go to college. I was generally, everyone told me as like a young kid that I was smart or whatever, like my early teachers and that kind of thing. Also, my parents always intended for me to go to college. They did not go to college, but they wanted me to go because they had never been, that kind of thing. So it was always kind of assumed that I would go to college, and I always wanted to. And there was never a point where I didn't want to go to college, but there was a point where I was directionless. So after high school, I applied to one college. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't really have any direction of what I wanted to study. I was very apathetic about school, kind of burnt out on it in a sense. I wanted to go to college. I just didn't know where. And I did well in high school, not exceedingly well, to get into, top schools that I would want to go to and feel like I'm sort of capable of going to. So what I decided to do was to go to community college. Now, I actually, committed to this state school, smaller state school in North Carolina, and I ended up not going there, and I went to community college for the main reason of money. So I didn't really have any money. I saved some money that I made from YouTube, which is not very much. Just kind of, I've always done it as a hobby. It's never been a great lucrative career or hobby by any means, but I really love doing it, so it never was a concern. And then I'd also worked at a gymnastics facility for about 7 years. So not 7, well, 7 as of now, but like 5 years at that point. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went to community college, took prerequisite courses and just basic things like that because it's cheaper than a state school, and because I felt that I could get accepted into a much better school than where I was accepted to, sort of in terms of ranking, which doesn't really mean anything necessarily. It's based off of prestige and that kind of thing, and there's some relationship there regarding the quality of the students at that institution, and also, but not necessarily the quality of instruction, because you can have professors that are super smart and like famous in their field, but they don't really give a shit about teaching. They just care about their own research, but that's a whole nother discussion for another day. So I decided to go to community college, and I had a great experience there. I didn't make like friends or anything because I was very introverted, and this is another thing. So I went to community college for a year. I made very good grades, perfect grades, and then I applied to the University of North Carolina. I was accepted, and I almost didn't go. And the reason that I didn't go is because, or almost didn't go, is because I had a lot of social anxiety, I would say, retrospectively. Now, at the time, I said, don't really think that's the case. But in retrospect, I most certainly did, because I didn't have any, like, IRL friends. I would say I had a lot of friends, just online friends, YouTubers and other people like that. And I would say that I had a lot of friends, my subscribers, not to sound cheesy, but like, you get on here and you could talk to hundreds of people in a day. But it's weird in that way, isn't it? That I have thousands and thousands of followers on YouTube, but I still felt isolated in some sense. And it's kind of weird how that's the case, but I think it's just the geospatial dynamic of that. When you're not with somebody in person, it's a very different type of relationship and friendship. And it's not to say that I don't consider my subscribers and other relevant YouTubers friends, but it's just when you don't have someone to hang out with every day, you feel like you don't have friends, even when you do, if that makes sense. So I didn't really know how to do things for myself. I'd been very focused on YouTube and working, and I didn't really do a lot of things for myself. So I just was kind of a mess. Just like I said, very, very socially anxious. And even though a lot of my middle school friends went to the University of North Carolina, I still was kind of very worried and anxious about going. So, hold up, let me adjust this. So, you know, I almost didn't go. But in the end, I did. I decided, I sucked it up, and I was like, well, I really want to go to this school. It's not that I didn't want to go. It's just that I had this social anxiety that I was like debilitating, and I didn't know if I would make friends. How would I do living with another roommate, and just all these things. I'd always had my own room, and just like all of these things were really, really kind of scary to me. So anyway, I end up going, I suck it up, and I love the experience. You know, and it totally has changed me as a person. It changed me from being socially introverted. It has changed me from being isolated and shy. And, you know, I've always been a kind person. I would say a very kind-hearted person. I've always cared about others. But I've become more outwardly, what's the word? I guess social, you know, really is the main thing. I've just made friends very, very easily. Everyone is very warm and welcoming, and it's a very positive environment. And the University of North Carolina has done so much for me in so many ways. And that college experience, that social dynamic of actually, you know, making a lot of friends and fitting in very well with other people and coming out of my shell and all that kind of stuff, you know, you can't really replace that with anything. You can't say that, you can't really put a price tag on it in that sense. Fundamentally, that college experience changing you as a person, you know. So I went from this anxiety-ridden, shy, introverted kid that in the first half of high school only played video game tournaments all day, every day, you know, playing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And then I went to becoming more of this YouTuber type person covering DC Comics and Batman Arkham in 2015 when that game came out. I still remember that in the summer of high school, junior to senior year, I do believe it was. So, you know, all of that has changed fundamentally for me since going to UNC. It also has revived my spirit, my academic intrigue and intellectual inquiry. You know, for instance, you know, when I got home from break, I went to the used bookstore and I bought a bunch of medical textbooks just because I've been interested in it. And you know, I've just been reading them. I've ordered a bunch of books and I've started reading much more, you know, besides just comic books, which I really only read in high school. I've become more interested in learning, writing. I go to conferences and present my research, political science conferences, and I do all of these things that I never did before. I signed up for a class to become a certified relationship counselor. You know, all these different things that you're around other people that are driven, motivated, brilliant, and excellent. And I remember I was in Chinese class, Chinese history class. Like I said, I'm a history major. And I was the only one in the class before class started, before the professor came in. Everyone was chatting with one another. And I was the only one in the class that didn't speak English. That did only speak English. Everyone else spoke English and another language, or two languages, or even three. And they were speaking in Mandarin Chinese, I heard, and I heard Spanish and other languages I didn't even recognize. So many people, you know, when you're around bilingual, trilingual people that are incredibly smart, it makes you motivated to want to do that and to reach that level of excellence. It makes you feel inferior, but in a positively reinforcing way. Not in a way of, wow, I suck. At least that's not the way that I interpret it. Some people might take it that way, but I try not to. I use it as fuel. For instance, one of my best friend in college, we're trying to start a nonprofit right now regarding political science and all that kind of stuff. So, like, what I mean is you're just around people that really light that fire inside of you, that academic inquiry, which is a good thing. You want to be a lifelong learner. And in all this time, it has motivated me to want to read comics more. It motivated me to be the best that I can be at YouTube. And it really has just revitalized, re-energized my life. And I can't say that it's necessarily everywhere, but I just know at the University of North Carolina, that's what happened to me. And I think that it will happen for so many other people if they go to college, right? Otherwise, whether you've always been very bright academically or if you've struggled academically, I think that if you've struggled academically, you will face challenges in college. But it's not insurmountable, you know. If you've been accepted to a university, it's because they believe you can exceed and succeed at that university. So I think that if you get accepted there, don't doubt that you can do it. If they accept you, they know you can do it, because the reason, you know, universities care a lot about their graduation rate and all that kind of stuff. And I could get into the politics of universities, but I'm not going to go that route because that's a whole other video for another day. Should you go to college? Well, don't worry if you feel directionless. It's not about that, because I still don't know what I'm going to do. I've thought about medical school. I've thought about law school. Don't want to do that. Definitely don't want to do law school. I've thought about becoming a professor, PhD, academia route. There's a lot of options that you can do. And college can open up those doors for you. But at the same point, if you're not going to work in college, there's these kids, not at UNC very often. I personally don't know anyone at UNC that's like this. Everyone's very driven, studies a lot, and it's just that type of school. But there's some kids that I see that they just go to college because they want to party with their friends. I mean, like, seriously, you can go up on weekends from your hometown to this college town and party on weekends. You don't need to pay $25,000, $30,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year to do that. You're just wasting your life. Just start working if you're going to do that. If you're not going to study, if you're not going to work hard, if you're not going to put in your best effort, there's no point in going. College has just made me the best version of myself. In terms of partying, haven't really gotten into that scene just because I've been studying, focused on things. More so recently going to social events and that kind of thing, hanging out with friends more, being more social. That's what college has done, but not in terms of, like binge drinking or, all that kind of stuff or drugs. I've never got involved in that, and I don't really have any interest in that. And, I've seen also some people become alcoholics in college. It's a problem, and you just have to know and trust the process. You have to trust that things are going to work out. And the way that they'll work is just by putting your best effort forward and recognizing you can't coast, per se. Even if you're really brilliant, you're still going to have a large quantity of work to do. There's no doubt about it. It doesn't matter how smart you are. You can fly through the work, but the quantity of work is so much that you're still going to be, working on school each day. So that's something that's important to consider as well. If you're feeling like you're not going to have to work, you just want to party, you're going to college for the wrong reasons. And as I said, you don't need to know, I want to be a NASA rocket scientist and I'm going to do this. But you should feel driven to want to know what it is that you are called to. And going to college has given me more questions than answers. At first, I never thought about med school, but now that I've been in college, and now that I've been around some people on med track, and I've researched and as a hobby medical related things for more, like eating healthy and keto diet, all that kind of stuff, and alternative medicine, natural medicine, it's made me interested in that. So my point is that college for me has spurred my academic and intellectual inquiry. It's kind of lit that fire inside me once again. It's made me more interested in doing my own research and trying to write books and just all that kind of stuff that it's really done a lot for me. So in that sense, and in regards to the partying and social scene, I can't really comment a lot on that because I haven't really been in there. Dating tends to be quite casual. Not with everybody, but for most people it's quite casual. So if you're looking to find the love of your life, you're working within a subset of the population, of the college population, because most people just want to party and, be very, very casual. Not everybody, but for most people, dating is kind of disposable. So like I said, if you're looking to find your wife or husband, it can happen, but you're working within a subset of the population of dating. In terms of partying, plenty of partying to be had, and I encourage you to have fun if that's what you're into. You just have to be very intentional about succeeding, especially if you're in a degree like me, political science or history. You need a 3.8, 3.9, 4.0 GPA to go into graduate school. And, I don't want to sound too gloomy, like, if you don't get great grades, you're screwed. It's not like that. It's just that you can't really get a job out of undergrad with those types of degrees. They're looking for STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. They're looking for computer science. They're looking for engineers. People that really like politics. I don't know. I mean, political science is a lot more than that, but at the same point, that's kind of what it is. And people don't really want that. It's not a marketable job career per se. So you need to go to a further level if you want to succeed in that. So I've had an incredible college experience, and I would encourage those that it appeals to go down that route. Just recognize that college is not about partying. It's not about drugs. It's not about alcohol. That stuff is all there if you want to partake in it. But I would probably I would encourage you not to. I would encourage you to go to college for what it's there for. Enjoy partying and drinking with friends on the weekends and experiment with some things, social situations that you would never, go to otherwise. That's fine. But just remember why you're there and try to be and surround yourself with people that are driven, kind, compassionate, caring, intelligent. I once heard a saying that you are the fifth of the 4 people that you hang out with. In other words, if you hang out with 4 people that are brilliant, driven, kind, caring, considerate, all those types of things, you will be that. But if you hang out with 4 potheads that party all day, that don't study, don't care about school, don't have a future, don't care about their future, you will become that person. So you have to find the right group of people in college. It's not merely just a matter of, oh, if I go to college, I'll have the experience that Kobe has had or other people have had, because it's not that way. You just need to surround yourself with the right people and do the right things when you're in college. And I would like to think that I've done that for the most part and continue to try to do that the best I can. So anyway, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know your college experience, your high school experience. How has that been for you? And where are you going in the future? I would love to read and comment and give whatever feedback if you have any questions. I'm not an expert on career advice or anything like that, because I still don't know what I'm doing. But it's just more of, we're all here for one another. So I would love to read your comments and give any advice if you like it. So just get a second opinion on things. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. My name is Slick Moth, and I'll see you guys in the next one.